views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. And no, I am not Dr. Pat. My name is Claire Candy Hough. Many of you might know me from my Angel Healing House radio program, which is on Transformation Talk Radio every week at 9 a.m. That is Pacific Standard Time. And I'd like to speak about a topic entitled today, prayer is so very important in our life, but there's a component in prayer which a lot of people forget, and that is to remember to say thank you when we pray. You know, everyone, with it being almost 3 weeks into December, and I know everyone says this, I can't believe it's the end of the year, but many people are knee-deep in not only snow in many parts of the world, but we are knee-deep in the season of well wishes, the season, some would say, of miracles, and the season where my angelic family, who call themselves the Posse of Angels, they say the uttering of prayers on the planet rise to enormously high levels. And they often, the Posse of Angels, they often scratch their heads as they're not sure why there should be more prayers at this time of the year. Okay, they're thinking perhaps with the tradition of gift giving, there are many of those who are praying for a new car, a bit of a squeeze if you want to unwrap that under the Christmas tree. But of course, it could be like in the movies. It could be in our driveway with a huge bow on it. Or perhaps they're praying that their boss recognizes their extra effort on the job and will add a Christmas bonus in their end of year pay packet. You know, prayers could be for safe driving on icy, snowy roads. They're a prayer for safe travel. This is one of the most traveled times of the year for our friends and family. Could be a prayer for good health, or just the good old standard prayer, which is uttered by so many at this time of the year, which is peace on earth and goodwill to all. You know, everyone, when it comes to prayers, there are as many prayers as there are individuals on the planet. And I often say we are each so different, and it's represented by our fingerprints. We are like snowflakes. No two of us is exactly alike. And whether we choose to pray out loud, whether we choose to pray in groups or go to a specific structure on a certain day, or pray in a cathedral of Mother Nature, or whether we choose to just have quiet, meditative reflection on our own. Well, the Posse of Angels is reminding us of possibly the most important component in order for any wishes to be fulfilled. In fact, when we inject our prayers with this secret weapon, they're calling it, the possibilities for our prayers to manifest grows exponentially. They are revealing that this secret weapon is to say thank you when we pray. And the Posse of Angels is very quick to add that the thank you is not merely for granting these prayers, but to express our gratitude for those circumstances that help them to manifest. In this way, we release all the restrictions that we put on in how things logically or rationally could work out. For when we release our expectation, when we release our attachment, it opens us to receive divine intervention to enter our lives. This was brought home to me years ago when I got a late night call one evening. When I answered the call, a very timid man answered and asked if this was the prayer line. I was taken aback a little and told him that he had reached Angel Healing House and he was speaking with the owner, Claire Candy Hough. I asked him where he found me, and he said he had found me in an online directory search for prayer service. And I can honestly tell all of you listeners that I have never listed my business under prayer services. Yet I figured, Angel Healing House, where else would somebody go for prayers? But I immediately knew that this man's angels had led him to me to help him in his time of need. And while that was not one of my services that I normally provide, I could certainly say a prayer for him. Well, when I asked him what he needed of this prayer for, he said in a very shaky, hesitant voice that he had gotten himself into big trouble, and his emphasis was on the word big. I said to him without any hesitation, well, the only reason we get ourselves into trouble is if we don't follow our intuition. I then quickly added, as if I found myself, and it was as if I was speaking to my own son. And I can tell you, young man, that this is not the first time that you have not listened to your intuition and have gotten into trouble as a result of it. Am I correct? The young man paused and haltingly said, no, ma'am, you are absolutely right on all counts. When I asked him what the trouble was, he said that he had stolen money from his aunt some years ago, and that although she was very upset at that time, she forgave him. And now his aunt found out that he had stolen money from her once again, and she said that there would have to be consequences for his actions. So that is why he needed someone to pray for him. When I asked, what did he want me to pray for? He said to pray that his auntie forgives him and just lets it go, just like she did the time before. In a rather stern but loving voice, I said I would do nothing of the sort, as that prayer was a waste of my breath, as your call has nothing to do with your aunt, because we can't control her actions and determine what she is going to do or what she chooses to do, because she has free will. Being 100% honest with him, I said, I'm sensing that the only reason that you are upset is not because of your aunt's reactions. You are simply upset because you got caught. And until you understand and until you deal with the underlying negative feelings that are triggering you to steal, negative feelings like anger or sadness or not being respected or worthy enough to earn your own money, then your reaction to steal will continue until you do this. Young man, it won't matter how many prayers myself or anyone else utter for you. Remember that God helps those who help themselves. I told him that the most effective prayer for him would be to pray and tell God that he was so grateful and he was so appreciative and thankful that he finally got caught. Defensive, the young man blurted out, "Why should I thank God for being caught?" Well, I explained that in this way, he finally could address what he was doing in order to change it, so he would not have similar results in the future. I then told him that the posse of angels and I would pray for him to have clarity and to have peace of mind from now on, to follow his intuition, that small voice inside that knows what is most beneficial for him to follow. In this way, the prayer would not be an empty, wasted prayer, as it would help him to truly and finally take stock of his life and finally bring about real and solid beneficial change. You know, everyone, after a really long silence, this young man said, "You know, this was really a very different prayer than what I thought I would receive." I said, "The difference, my young man, is that by seeing this incident as a blessing and actually thanking it, you're asking for clarity on how you can finally take stock of your life in order to create different beneficial changes. And by doing so, you've gone from being a thief and not only stealing from your aunt, but stealing from yourself, to being an accountable human being that takes responsibility for his life." In a very shaky voice, this young man thanked me over and over and over again. You know, listeners, the posse of angels is asking us to think back to the times when we have prayed. You know, most of the times those prayers centered on asking for something to be different in our lives. Perhaps the acquisition of a new home, maybe more money that we needed to pay our bills, to go on a much-needed vacation, to get us out of debt, to feed our families, prayers for a new job or improved health. You know, there are many of us who have asked God to change someone, change my boss, change my mother or my father, stop them nagging me, change my sibling and auntie. Oh my gosh, if you could only change my landlord, you know, that would improve my life, or a friend or a relative, that our lives, I'm thinking by doing this, by changing someone else, that our lives would be better and run more smoothly. The posse of angels is now asking us if we have ever really thought about what we are doing when we're praying and what it really means. They suggested that I look up the definition of what praying actually is. And while there were many sites that quoted that to pray included a solemn request, it was a wish or a desire for something, it really surprised me that the definition that came up most of all for praying was to express and to give thanks. And I have a sneaky suspicion that I know where the posse of angels is going with all of this. Okay, they're showing me a numbered chart, and they're saying, number 1, the posse of angels are telling us that God hears all prayers. All prayers are heard, and they are answered in the how and the when of God's will. It's not our providence to figure out the how and the when of that. Number 2, if we use praying to ask for something, a request, a wish, or desire, we're actually praying again for something to be different than what we are currently experiencing in our lives. They're saying number 3, all things come from God and are a co-creation with our energies. Number 4, by praying for something to be different in our lives, we're expressing that we're not happy and we're truly not satisfied in some way, shape, or form with our current circumstances. They're showing me number 5. By praying to change our present circumstances, we may not mean to, but what we are unconsciously emphasizing is that we lack something in order for ourselves to be happier and more fulfilled. And number 7, when we are in any way emphasizing lack or that we'd be happier if things were different, we will manifest more lack to enter our lives. So the posse of angels is saying that instead of praying for something to change or to change someone, change the word praying to thanking by being grateful and appreciative for exactly what we have, because we are in a co-creative dance with God's source or spirit, the creator, and we've made it to be so in our lives. By being grateful, as in the above example, by the young man thanking God for getting caught, he no longer is a victim, but he gets to be a contributing, responsible party in the creation of his reality. And when you look at it that way, it's a huge difference. By changing the energies within us from praying to be thankful, we fill ourselves up with very different energies that resonate with an empowerment, a fullness, one of being abundant, wealthy, rich, and certainly of having enough. By thanking instead of praying, we affirm that we always have what we need in any given moment, which I've stated before is very different than what we may want. In fact, if you've been praying and pleading and begging and asking for something to change and to be different in your life, then in many cases, it's not your prayers that are going unanswered and unheard, but that your energies may be in complete disharmony and alignment with the energy of abundance that you're asking for, or possibly you are not open to seeing the signs that the angels have been sending you on how to take inspired action forward to fulfill, for the fulfillment of your prayers, because you're expecting it to come and attach to it coming in to your life in a certain way. You may not be seeing the signs and messages that your angels are sending you. Through addressing and finally clearing any energies of lack and scarcity, my clients have become so gosh darn grateful and appreciative of their lives exactly as they are, because they fully understand what powerful co-creators they are with God's source, and they have allowed themselves to consciously raise their vibrational energy to such a high, abundant level of gratitude that further abundance has naturally manifested and found its way into their lives. Remember, quantum physics states like attract like. It's a case of cause and effect. Here comes the posse of angels, my angelic family, and they're saying that they already know what you desire before you know that you desire it. That's how much they are attuned to knowing you. And as such, they have carefully orchestrated and arranged things for your highest good, and not only your highest good, but the greatest good of all concerned, to bring about the most beneficial fulfillment of your desires for your soul's growth. Next to the energies of love, being thankful and expressing gratitude and appreciation are two of the highest forms of energies that exist in the universe. The posse of angels is saying that by simply saying, thank you, God, thank you, God, Source, Spirit, Universe, and for us to have that energy of feeling blessed and expressing gratitude for that which we already have, you're working with the energies of the universe instead of working with lack and scarcity, instead of working against them. We expand and grow our energy way out beyond just the material, physical level, and we connect with the alchemical energies because each and every one of us is a multidimensional being. So let's take a few examples here. If you've been praying for a new job and not seen much success, instead of praying, take 5, 10, 15 minutes every day and sit quietly. Take a few deep breaths and say out loud to God and the angels, thank you. Thank you for my extraordinary job or opportunity or new career in which I get to utilize my gifts, my talents, my abilities. I am financially remunerated for my contribution. I work with kind, creative, supportive, like-minded individuals. We encourage one another. I work in a great location and I love what I do, and I'm so passionate about it. After you've said this out loud, you visualize, close your eyes and visualize yourself. You don't even have to know what specific job it is, working in this beautiful, loving environment, feeling like you're recognized and you're rewarded for your talents. Feel abundant, and then that energy then goes out into the universe, and it works with the high vibrational frequency of the abundance of the universe. Because at the end of the day, whatever you desire, the universe desires that as well for you. If you have been praying for a new love, take that 10 or 15 minutes every single day. Sit quietly, drop down to your heart and say, thank you. Not I want or I need, but thank you. Thank you for my beautiful love relationship in which I do not have to compromise who I am. Thank you for my love, being kind and considerate, loving, respectful, loyal, responsible, whatever characteristics you would like to experience in a partner or mate. Once you have said thank you for your new love, because they're not here on the physical plane, but they are there on the etheric plane. You are affirming by saying this, thank you. You're affirming to the universe that he or she is already yours, and that abundant feeling inside you will start to grow as you visualize yourself with your new love and you feel what it's like to share a heavenly life together. Remember that just by doing these examples for 10 or 15 minutes every day does not guarantee snap your finger immediate results. But for the rest of the day, one must be conscious and consistent with keeping one's energies high and bright and positive and optimistic. Now, this is done through constantly choosing love and forgiveness and connecting with your higher, loving, divine, eternal nature within. And the posse of angels is saying that one of the best ways of doing this is to put your emphasis on being thankful for what you have already. This works with the energies of the universe to again alchemically create magic in our lives, to bring about the fulfillment of your heartfelt energies and longings. So I would like to thank everyone for listening to that lovely channel with myself and the posse of angels. We are going to take a quick break. And after the break, I would love to take some of your calls for those free angel readings with myself and the posse of angels. So we'll see you on the other side of this quick break.
Don't you wish you had more joy in your life? Check out the new book by Robert Max Schoenfeld, For the Love of Joy, a 30-day adventure for creating joy in your life, because you deserve more joy, more love, more health, more abundance, and more life. Available now on Amazon. Get your copy today. Visit theartofpowerfulliving.com. That's theartofpowerfulliving.com.
Are you searching? Looking for a sign? A message you need to hear? From the great unknown? From the most mysterious place that is the most familiar to your soul in the depths of who you are? The universe put someone here to talk to, someone God gave a blessing to, that you may find insight with. TheAngelLady.net. 1-800-323-1790. 1-800-323-1790.
In this day and age, if you don't reinvent yourself, you may never find balance, peace, and the sustainable life that is your birthright. Angela Watson Robertson, known as the Reinvention Warrior and the host of breakthrough radio show Masters of Reinvention, is here to help you reinvent every area of your life. Tune in and hear from the best in the personal transformation business and discover tips and tools for positive change. Live every month on Transformation Talk Radio.
Be you plus live your purpose equals joy. That's the motto of Unstuck Joy with Vicki Todd. Vicki believes you were born with gifts that are meant to make the world brighter. Each show will feature an art visioning journal prompt to help you create your way to soul clarity. If you're ready to get unstuck and create more joy, this show is for you.
Tune in the first and third Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit VickiWorldArt.com.
The Janice Underwood Show, helping you create the life you want, not the life you tolerate. Tune in each Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio as Janice delves into the life creator system and the next step in your spiritual evolution. Janice Underwood is gifted at helping spiritually minded people shift their mindsets to unleash the creator within. Our souls wish to wake us up. Those of us listening hear the call. Do you? For more information, visit JaniceUnderwood.com.
Have you discovered the remarkable books at angelhealinghouse.com? Author Claire Candy Hough has channeled rare books of inspiration and insight.
Angels of Faith is an inspiring story of healing, comfort, and hope that reminds us that death is not to be feared, but embraced with joy.
One True Home, Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, takes readers on a roller coaster ride through Angel Ariel's 5 most important lives on Earth, as well as her experiences in the afterlife, and helps us remember our own journey across the veil.
And Claire Candy's autobiography, I Am an Angelic Walk-In, which details the 2003 soul exchange that took place when Claire Candy walked out of her body and Angel Ariel walked in, creating heaven on earth for herself and others.
To find out more about these wonderful books, visit angelhealinghouse.com today.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show, Talk Radio to Thrive By. I am so thrilled to be talking to all of you. We have got talk radio for all of us. Are you ready and willing and able to accept all of the abundance you can muster up in your life? Check us out at drpatshow.com, transformationtalkradio.com, transformationradio.fm. Oh my goodness.
And hey, everyone, welcome back to the Dr. Pat Show. I am obviously not Dr. Pat. I'm Claire Candy Hough. I am sitting in for the lovely Dr. Pat. Some of you may know me from my own program, Angel Healing House Radio, every week at 9 a.m. on this lovely platform of Transformation Talk Radio. I would love to take some of your calls for free angel readings. You can call the show on 800-930-2819. Before we get to those callers, for those out there that are still seeking holiday gifts, if you're looking for something spiritual, if you're looking for different gifts this year, gifts that are uplifting, gifts that enlighten the receiver, gifts that awaken something in them, and they help them remember how divine, how powerful, how beautiful, and how magnificent that receiver of that gift truly is, then go to the Angel Healing House website, which is angelhealinghouse.com, and look up some of my amazing, remarkable channeled books. For instance, I have Angels of Faith. Angels of Faith is a beautiful book. It's based on my 2 near-death experiences that I had, and that we don't die, that we are divine and eternal. It looks like it's a children's book, but I have as many adults ordering it. For instance, adults order this book, for those who are bereaved, for those who have serious illnesses, and because the book gives all of us hope, and it reawakens and helps us to remember that we are divine, we are eternal, and that we live on forever. We just don't have a physical form. Another book that takes readers on an extraordinary journey is One True Home, Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness. Now, this One True Home talks about my 5 most important past lives, and they were the most important because I grew the most spiritually. And then after each incarnation, I returned to our one true home across the veil. And I wasn't just given a halo and a harp, how I contributed in the afterlife. And then when I chose, because everyone can choose to come back in another incarnation, when I chose to come back, I chose the souls that I wanted to interact with, the era, my circumstances, and then I came back in, and then it has the arc of the physical incarnation and then across the veil. And readers have said about this book that they simply cannot put it down because in a way they start to remember their own journey across the veil and that they've done this many times before. And the sequel to One True Home is I Am an Angelic Walk-In. This is my autobiography, the autobiography of who I am, Angel Ariel, in the body of Claire Candy, as I had a walk-in experience on January 11th of 2003, when the former soul, who was so traumatized and in such deep despair that she contracted with I, Angel Ariel, to walk out. And I walked in on that date, and I cleaned up her life, and I went on to create heaven on earth for not only myself, but for others as well. There's also a guided angel meditation CD, Letting Go of Concerns and Living in the Now. All of those wonderful gifts can be purchased at the Angel Healing House website, which is angelhealinghouse.com. Remember that you can call in for a free angel reading, 1-800-930-2819. Before we see if we're going to get any callers, I would like to remind everyone that yesterday we had a new moon, and that was conjunct in Saturn. And with it being in Saturn, it signifies that it's time to stand up and to be counted. Now, a friend of mine, we were recollecting, with it being the end of the year, what an extraordinary year this has been in the past year. for us individually and for us as a conscious collective. And then we started thinking about the year before that and the year before that. And really the last 5 or 10 years, all of us have been marching to, in the awakened, shifted conscious collective, have been marching to a beat that has gotten us to this particular point on the planet. And this particular point is for us to be ready to have the courage and to be brave enough to stand up and to be recognized and to be counted, and our voices to go out and serve this planet. And that's what we really have been marching towards these past 5, 10 plus years. Although many people don't like the planet of Saturn, because it's usually a really, really hard taskmaster, the loving influence of Venus and the awakening influence of Uranus will bring out the best in Saturn. And yes, Saturn is about hard work. Saturn is about putting your nose to the grindstone and discipline. Yet this new moon that was shining on us as of yesterday will focus on all of the hard work and all of the achievements that we've already put in, for it's a time now to reap the benefit of our diligence with the achievements and the recognitions and the rewards. You know, it reminds me of years ago. I would rail against my angelic family, the posse of angels, and I would say, send me more clients. And they would reply and say, that's nice, go write another book. I'd say, no, you don't understand. I need clients in order to eat and, have a roof over my head. And they say, that's nice, go write another book. And because when God tells me to jump, all I say is how high, and I fulfilled those requests to write those books, and the abundance, because I fulfilled that, the abundance came in all different forms, rather than just through my clientele. Miraculous, magical, synchronistic ways that the money came in order for me to keep answering yes and serving God's divine will. And so with each thing that we have been that our intuitions told us to do, whether it's creating the radio program, whether not everybody has a radio program, but writing that book or creating that newsletter or doing that blog or painting that picture or starting a business, or all of these different things were God speaking to us through our voice. And we weren't doing it just to, fill in time. We were doing it for a specific purpose as we were building a foundation. And we now find ourselves during this Mercury retrograde, which, by the way, it officially ends on December 22nd, but it takes about a week to 10 days to get out of its shadow. So we will find ourselves going into January, and because of the lightness and the shift in that awakened conscious collective, we will now see the reaping of the rewards, the achievements, the recognition of those things that we said yes to and that we brought forth. Many of us will be asked now, with these opportunities that are coming to us, and these connections, and these very different things. It might be different to what we've done before, but it will contain those elements that we've honed over the years. It will involve taking more responsibility, because we'll be stepping up into a much larger exposure, which will earn us more respect, promotions, and support from those in positions of moneyed positions or authority, to get us recognized, because that's what we were building towards. Many of us will finally be able to build really strong foundations for the future and security, and make life more stable for ourselves and our families. But not only will we have Saturn, and there's Venus paving our way, but there's the planet of Uranus. And I love Uranus because it makes this moon even more exciting, because the planet Uranus brings in unexpected events. You can't plan for this stuff. Some of us can't even possibly imagine the convoluted ways that the universe is conspiring for those of us who have followed the voice of the divine in our hearts to create all of these things and step forward when all rationale and all logic told us against this. But Uranus makes this exciting new moon because of the expected events and opportunities that are going to present themselves in the new year. And like I said, Mercury retrograde, which, halts our projects, gets us being reflective, gets us to go back and re-edit and redo and revisit a lot of our things to get them ready to be presented. So if you go 10 days, 8, 9, 10, so somewhere within the second, even possibly the second or third week in January, we should be seeing those new things coming in. These could be opportunities of, again, a wonderful job opportunity, offers coming out of nowhere that will reinvigorate and will excite us. This is not hardship. This is something that is the fulfillment and the absolute answer to our prayers. And don't be surprised, but it could be an offer that's in another state. It could be in another country, or it could be in an area work, once again, that we never, ever dreamed that it was possible for us to work in. This is awesome, absolutely awesome timing, because these energies are helping us to feel like trying something new outside of our normal routine. I was speaking to a client the other day, and she has amazing gifts as a medium. And I've known this lovely, lovely person for the last 5 years. And she doesn't discount her mediumship, but she also doesn't do it as a business. She doesn't do it as professionally. And her angels have brought to her more and more and more opportunities for her to bring in the messages and the love from people across the veil. And it's just really in the last, and she was always saying, well, if I do it as a business, then I can't go traveling with my husband, who travels a lot for work, and I won't be able to go on vacation for 6 weeks, to a particular holiday destination that she always goes to. And I won't be able, I said, you are cutting yourself off from being as extraordinarily of service as you could be. I said, so you're looking at it, what you'll have to give up, rather than all that you will be receiving as a result of this. And I said, all the angels want you to do is just sit comfortably and quietly and open yourself to receive the enormity of your power, your magnificence, your beauty, and the difference that you came to make on this planet. One of the things that was affecting her was that she was destroyed for her spiritual gifts in a previous life, and And this kept on haunting her. Well, if I come out publicly, if I speak about it openly, then there'll be great backlash and people will say things about me. But it's just been in the past 6 months that she's realized the importance not only to herself of being this beautiful medium and bringing forth these lovely gifts, but the importance to the planet and how much she is going to show people that we live on forever, that we are multidimensional beings, and that we are so much more than just this physical, outwardly appearance of ours. So these energies now are getting us to really feel like we want to be expansive. You know, what, as Dr. Pat says, what would you do if you could not fail? And the posse of angels are coming in and they're saying, there is no failure. Failure is an illusion, because God does not, his agenda is not what is good or bad or right or wrong. You know, this person could look at this situation and say, oh, this is really bad. And this person could look at it and say it's really good. It depends which eyes you're looking from. So these energies now are really getting us excited. They're getting excited for us not to completely, do away with everything that we've known before, but they're getting us excited about expanding, about doing something different, about really not only looking outside of the box, but kicking the box away and saying there is no box. There is no normal. There's only how I can be of best service, and I open to receive. I open to receive in the limitless, in the magical, in the convoluted, in the miracles that only God can create for my soul's growth, the expansion of myself for the greatest good of myself and the greatest good of everyone concerned. It's a time of true liberation that we're feeling, a time of freedom, a time to enjoy more freedom to leave your comfort zone and to widen your social circle. Somebody said the other day, if you knew everything, then you wouldn't be open to the wonder and the enchantment of learning more, of coming into contact with some extraordinary people who have amazing stories, who have gone through struggles and challenges, and they've triumphed over that to give others inspiration that they can do it as well. And then those extraordinary people, because like attracts like, if we're open to receive, they'll share our vision and on what we want to create for this world of ours. So it is a very, very special time. It is a time of well wishes at this festive season. It's a time of prayer. It's a time for us to look back, take a look back on this past year, maybe on the past 10 years, to see where we've come from and really bless where we've come from, because everything that we went through, I mean, when I look over the past 10 years, there were challenges held up, there were financial challenges, there were all kinds of things, but all of them made me stronger. All of them created courage and faith and bravery in me. And the things that I've done this past year alone, have, every time I did them, it got me out of my comfort zone. And now I look back and I just stand in wonder and I say, thank you. I am open to receive more. So with it being only about 7 minutes left to the end of the show, I'm going to do a reading. I'm going to do a reading for this last part of December, and what messages the Posse of Angels would like to give us going into these this last couple of weeks of December. Okay, while I'm shuffling the cards, I'm wishing everyone just a beautiful, amazing festive season, a season in which you feel peace, you feel love, you feel blessed, you feel peaceful. All of this is not dependent on your circumstances. All of this is dependent on whether you choose that happiness within, because happiness is not when. Happiness is a state of mind. And when we look at it that way, all of those things, that peace, joy, love, abundance, all of those things are available, that healing, it's all available to us in every moment and not solely on the festive season. So let's go to the cards and see what messages the Posse of Angels wish to give us. Okay. This card is the 8 of Swords, the Trust card. This is that card where, regardless of anything that you have co-created with God, Source, or Spirit in your life, trust that it's for your greatest good and the greatest good of all concerned. And if you go within and you say, this is meant to help me learn my lessons. Sometimes the lessons in contrast could be for strength, for patience, for tolerance, for forgiveness, and for unconditional love. Because how would we learn those really important lessons for unconditional love and forgiveness if we don't experience the contrast of them and the challenges in our life? So the first card certainly for us is trust. Trust that you are being divinely led to be of best service to going into 2018. The next card is the 8 of Cups. This is the walking away card. Many of us are going to be walking away from what we know and getting ourselves prepared, saying, I am always more guided, protected, loved, adored, and cherished by God and the angels, no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing. And all I need to do is tap into that to see the signs and the messages. I am abundant because abundant is my nature, and I have the full potential. I have full potential to be able to create a new reality for myself, and everything happens in divine timing. So we will be walking away, many of us, too. And we're not even sure what we're stepping into because it hasn't been presented yet. But we will be walking away from what we know, and all we have to do is trust. And the next card is the Lover's card. And the Lover's card is all certainly about making a choice. And the choice card, the Lover's card, is when we make that choice, that ultimate choice, make it with following our intuition. Do not compromise your life. Do not settle for less. Take that inspired action on the signs and the messages that the angels will show you, and take that leap forward, because you are more grand and you are more powerful, magnificent, and beautiful than you ever could possibly imagine. And they want you to shine even brighter than you ever thought possible in 2018. And those are the cards that will give us some messages on how to close out the rest of this year. And that just about wraps up Dr. Pat's show today. Thank you, Dr. Pat, for asking me to host your lovely show today. Once again, I am wishing everybody a warm and healthy and safe holiday season. And I'm sending you so much love. And of course, angel blessings from myself, from my angelic family, the Posse of Angels. And do remember to go out and fashion an absolutely beautiful life for yourself. And you do this by just being you. Love as always. Take care. And I'll speak to you later, hopefully, on my Angel Healing House radio program that airs every week on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Transformation Talk Radio. So until next time, everyone, God bless you and take care. Bye.
Preceding audio was via a Skype call.